still have to distress this too, but I love this. I'm alive in a new look. Very sweet, and I usually bring biscuit down here to do my sign off. Well, tonight I'm going to bring bacon, right? Hi YouTube, it's Bethany from Madeline Jean Antiques Restoration. It has been a while since I posted a video. So many things have been going on. The holidays came, I was out of work for a little while, I had a little issue with my arm, but I am back. I am back healthier than ever and ready to rock 2023 with some really informative videos for you guys. So this first tutorial that I'm going to be doing, we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to share with you my 3 favorite ways to strip furniture. Before we go into that, if you're new here, welcome. Please like, subscribe, and follow my channel. Here you're going to learn a lot about how to upcycle, repurpose, paint, restore, refinish furniture. Any label you want to put on it, we're gonna do it. You can also find me here on my other social media platforms. I am on Facebook. I have a business page. I have an Instagram, and I'm also on TikTok where I have a little fun. So go follow me there. We're gonna jump right into this. We're gonna go on the other side of my workshop and let me show you the 3 favorite ways I like to strip furniture. Okay guys, we are on the other side of my workshop. You're gonna see this romantic glow coming from the corner, and I would like to say that I have a beautiful fireplace going. I do not. I have a space heater going on. It is freezing here in New Hampshire, and that's where I'm wearing my stocking cap, and I'm pretty cheap, and I don't wanna put my heat on in my basement because it's gonna cause my electric bill to quadruple. It already has doubled. Thank you, Eversource, appreciate it. So I try to be conservative when I'm working down here. And normally I have my work robe on. And so for a video, I try to look kind of cute. So I don't have my robe on. And I'm a little cold, but we're gonna make do. I have a little space heater going on. So the first way that I like to strip furniture, first of all, I'm going to show you what I have behind me. I have an antique dresser. This probably dates back to the 1930s, the 1940s. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to the top on that. Then I also have more of a modern piece that I picked up at the Goodwill. It was uber cheap, but it's oak. It's got some really good wood grain, but it's got that awful orange hue to it. You know, the stuff that was like in the late 80s, early 90s, and I want to freshen that up. So when I first obtain a piece of furniture, I think, how am I going to get that varnish off the quickest way, the most efficient way possible? The first method that I always go to is sanding, okay? So I have a sander here. This is my FESTOOL sander. This is kind of top of the line, and I'm not saying you have to go do this. For the first 5 years of my business, maybe 6 years, I used a Ryobi orbital sander, and I had it hooked up to my shop vac. That enabled me to sand indoors because for the longest time I rented. So I was trying to run my business out of a rental. So I had my $40 orbital sander hooked up to my shop vac, and it worked pretty well with keeping the dust contained. Now I have what I call it hoity-toity. This is FESTOOL, an orbital sander, and I have the really top of the line dust extractor. This enables me to sand indoors, and it makes sanding a breeze. So please don't fret if I show you some of these fancier tools. Just know I was never able to obtain them right away. I did find resourceful ways to sand indoors. I actually did a YouTube video on that. You should go check it out. I'll post the link under this video. So if you are in a position, you don't have a lot of money, you're just starting out with refinishing furniture, or you're like me, in a spot where you just don't have the space yet to sand either in a basement or a garage or something, check out how I did that with my shop vac. So I start out usually with 150 grit to 120 grit when I want to see how fast and how efficient can I get the finish off. Sometimes it works like a charm, sometimes it doesn't, and then I have to resort to my 2 other ways that I like to strip furniture with. So this I have 120 grit on. That's the only grit I have for my larger FESTOOL right here. But what I'm first gonna do is anytime before I start sanding, I will prep the piece and I'm gonna clean it with Crud Cutter. It's a degreaser. This piece has been sitting in my basement for a while. I know it's got some dust on it and I just wanna work with a clean surface. I do go overboard. I say overboard, it's just because I feel like I'm one of the few people out there that does furniture, refinishes furniture, and I do prep. I know a lot of people, if they paint furniture completely, they've been sold with the idea that you do not have to do any prepping, and that is hogwash, let me tell you. Complete hogwash. You need to prep, okay? You need to get your surfaces clean with like a degreaser, get everything off it as much as possible, and you need to, at the very least, scuff sand before you paint, or remove the finish entirely if you want your paint to adhere to the surface. And I love to highlight natural wood grain, so I'm going to be sanding these tops completely for sure on both of these pieces. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with the rest here. I got some really pretty veneer grain there, inlays, that I probably want to keep. So I'm going to get sanding. You're going to see how easy or how difficult these finishes are going to come off, and then we'll discuss the pros and cons to sanding. Okay, hopefully you were able to see in both those time-lapse videos with both pieces, the varnish is a little thicker than I expected, especially on this one. I thought it was going to come off faster. Sometimes just because the age of a piece of furniture, you'll normally find the older piece of furniture that you find, the thinner the varnish will be, just because over time it just starts to disintegrate. And so normally I can just sand the finish off an older piece of furniture. On a newer piece of furniture, I often come across a thicker varnish and it just takes me longer to sand. So what I do like about sanding, it is probably the most efficient way that I remove finish on a piece of furniture. It's usually the least messy out of the three options that I'm going to show you. Some of the cons, you need to be patient. Sanding takes time. So, and if you don't do it right, and if you're trying to do it quickly, you can either burn through veneer very quickly. Sometimes another issue with going fast, you can get pigtails in the surface. And that happens to show up after it looks all sanded and you put on stain, and these like swirl marks called pigtails appear. It's just because you've pushed too hard and you've moved your sander across the surface too quickly. So sanding has its pros. I think it has more pros than cons. It is efficient. It's the least messy out of the three. And you can get a nice, even removal in the process. I try not to go lower than 150 or 120 grit with removing finish. If I go to 80, you run a dangerous game of like probably tearing up the wood underneath it. So if I can't get the finish off using 120, then I'll resort to my second option, my second favorite way of removing finish on a piece of furniture, and I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, this is my go-to number 2 method, is using this furniture scraper. That's what I call it. I absolutely love this thing, and I just stumbled across it recently. So it has a 2.5-inch blade right there, and you can buy more blades for it. I guess that would be a con. Just kind of like sandpaper, I guess, with sanding. You got to buy sandpaper. So it's ongoing expense there. But what's great about this scraper, it is fast, it's efficient, and what I normally do is I'll use the scraper as much as I can to get the finish off, and then I'll suck it up with my shop vac or my dust extractor. The only cons to this, it's loud, it's noisy, it's annoying. Here, I'll show you. Hold your ears. Squeaks. So that's the one con to it, but it goes so fast. I mean, look at that. Look what I just tore off. Now you're going to think this is going to damage the wood. It's not. It's crazy. It gets really thick varnish off super fast. So I'll use this, I will do it, and then I'll suck up the old finish off, and then I'll clean it up with my sander. I absolutely love this thing. You need to get one of these things because it works super fast. Watch me on a time-lapse video do one of these tops. You're gonna be amazed. Okay guys, this was about 3 to 4 minutes worth of work, and you can see I got a pretty large section removed of this old varnish. Again, it's a little messy, but you can just suck up the old varnish with your vacuum, and you do get a little bit of a workout, so that could either be a pro or a con. So what do you do if sanding's not really working for you? Maybe it's too tiresome. Maybe you're just like, you know what, my hand's killing me. I will use my third method. This is the last method that I will use for stripping furniture. Let me show you what I use. Okay, the last method I will try if sanding and my scraper isn't working for me is this stuff. It's by KLEAN Strip. It's called a premium stripper. It strips paint, epoxy, polyurethane from wood, metal, and masonry. Looks like this. I will put a link below this video, all the materials and products that I'm mentioning. This stuff works awesome. It is the most efficient stuff that I have found on the market. It works within 15 minutes. This stuff is great, but the cons to this is it's messy and it's very smelly. So please work in a well-ventilated area. I have a couple windows here in my basement that I can open up, and my bulkhead is right over here. So I can open that if need be, or I'll just do this outside. The time that I've used this right here, I can see why people use it. See how they're spraying it on spindles. So I've had a few projects, chairs or something like that, where you just can't get your sander in there. You can't get the scraper in it. Usually on curved furniture legs, this works great on. I have a tendency, I usually don't buy used furniture that's already painted because it is such a laborious task. Oh, it's like my nemesis. I never want to strip furniture that's already been painted because it is absolutely so time consuming. So if you have a family heirloom piece of furniture and it's already been painted and you really want to get it off, I would say use this product, but it's going to be time consuming, messy, fumey, but it works like a charm. I'm not going to show you right here because I don't want this stuff on these two projects because it just gets to be like a gooey mess. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a scraper nearby, an all-purpose tool, a putty tool. You spray it on for 15 minutes, you let it sit, it gets bubbly, and then you scrape it, and then just have some rags nearby and you just clean it off that way. I'm going to show you though, I recently did a project, a super large coffee table, and I'm going to insert it here. This thing, I could not get the finish off it. It's more of a modern piece. I found it at the Goodwill for only like $2.80. So I was like, okay, heck yeah, I'm refinishing this piece. I'm gonna try and make some money off it. And I'm like, this will be super easy, right? Super easy. Take my sander to it. The finish isn't coming off as easily as I would like to. Then I ended up scraping it, and that was working, but it was so large. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bust this stuff out. I should have busted this out at the very beginning because you'll see in this video, it just came off. Came off like a bad sunburn. Like it just peeled off. And then once I got the finish off, you do have to remove like the remnants of this. So I will take like mineral spirits, or I have like wet wipes down here. I wiped the goo off that way. And then I was able to sand the table and I was good to go. So these are my favorite ways and the most efficient ways to strip furniture. I try sanding first, then I use my furniture scraper, and then as a last resort, I will use this on areas that are super stubborn or like curved furniture pieces. Okay, you guys, I want to thank you for watching this tutorial on my 3 favorite ways to strip furniture. And I usually bring down one of my dogs to do my sign off. I usually bring Biscuit down. He's the older Chihuahua, but he's also the smaller one. He's only 5 pounds. This guy, on the other hand, he's our youngest Chihuahua, and he's our biggest one. He's 13 pounds, and his name is Bacon, and he's the sweetest, biggest little love bug you could ever know. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys have any questions on the methods that I shared with you, please drop them in the comment section. I'm happy to help. And please like and subscribe to this video. And then also, I think you need to subscribe And then you also need to click that bell underneath my channel. That way you guys will get notified every time I upload a new video. And let me tell you, in 2023, I am gonna do such a better job with being consistent and uploading videos, and I have tons of ideas and information I wanna share with you in regards to restoring furniture and helping you guys along in your journey. So please stick with me. We will see you again here at Madeline Jean Antiques and Restoration. See you guys later. Bacon, say bye. Show them your cute little face. Show them your cute little face. Oh, there's your cute little face. Say bye-bye.